Hi, Dr. Lori.
Hey, Dr. Rock, how are you?
I'm good. Hi to our live stream and people who are watching this recording later. My name is Dr. Rock. I'm here with Dr. Lori. We're from Mora Medical. It's really nice. This is our second weekly live stream that we're doing now. We're doing these weekly at this time slot, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're here to talk about lifestyle medicine, the work we do, and to answer your questions about lifestyle medicine. Um, Yeah, you want to say anything? Welcome everyone, Lori.
Yeah, welcome everyone, and thanks for joining. I'm out of my normal location, traveling, so the light and my angle's a little weird, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, it's. I think it's. And if you hear a dog, it's Daisy. So again, I'm out of my element normally. So yeah, no, the piece here that's really important is that I think that we can share is just the work that we're doing and how many people we're going to be able to help at Mora is really focusing on doing those things that we know we should do. And we're really trying to become the experts in helping people achieve their health. And if that requires some medications, again, I think we just want to always make sure that we understand that sometimes that's required and that's okay. But we're just trying to make you healthier. And we are accepting insurance. Right now we're in Florida, Texas, New York, California, Ohio, soon to be Colorado, working a little bit on towards Pennsylvania. So we're trying to move as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, our health system has not allowed us to enroll and credential and get licensed as quickly as we would
That's
like.
right.
So
That's right.
be patient with us. Share this also if you see our lives, please share them in any groups or on your own Facebook or YouTube, however you share, send it to email, whoever you think might be benefit from hearing this. And like I said, we're really excited to answer any questions that you may have. But you had
That's
mentioned
right.
speaking about strength training. I'd love to hear that. And I'm going to
Yeah,
start sharing the live across Facebook land as you speak about that.
perfect. Yeah, I wanted to just talk about strength and resistance training a little bit. When we think about the exercise guidelines, and the United States government now for I think it's been 8 years or 10 years, they've been putting out exercise guidelines that periodically update. I think what people gravitate towards are the aerobic uh, recommendations, which now in the last recommendation is anywhere from 150 to 300 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise a week. And we know doing as much as you can, even less than that, is also beneficial. And aerobic exercise, not to say that it's not beneficial, it's very beneficial. It's beneficial for our heart, for our cardiovascular system, and you're less likely to die of any cause if you do aerobic exercise. It's that powerful. But I think then what gets kind of missed is the guideline also says plus, not instead of, not also consider, but plus, strength or resistance training. And the guideline is kind of specific about that. It's like doing 2 to 3 full body sessions in a week, with at least a full day in between those sessions to allow your muscles to recover. And I was talking to a patient about it yesterday because the benefits to strength and resistance training are different in some ways. I mean, you can certainly do a resistance workout or a strength workout and get your heart going, but mostly we think about your loading weight against the bone and the muscle. And as a result of that, in that session, the muscle will break down a little bit and the bone and the muscle will build back stronger. That's the general idea. And in doing so, you get these innumerable benefits. There's so many studies that show, like, if you were to get an infection, any kind of infection, pneumonia, that if you have, well, one of the biggest predictors of how quickly you'll recover, whether or not you'll end up in the hospital, whether or not you'll die, is how much muscle mass, muscle strength you have. And that is something that you don't just get, right? You have to sort of maintain and build that over time. And that particularly becomes important as you get older, because the kind of hormonal signals to build and maintain muscle start to go down. So you need that external stimulus. And yeah, those are some thoughts I have. I don't know if you have anything else you want to share about that. Do you have
Yeah, no.
a resistance strength training protocol or workout that you do, Dr. Lori?
Yeah. Yeah. So, being over 50, things, again, we should have been focusing all of this when children, again, with that bone health. So for women my age, that's really key. And the more you
Absolutely.
can do that resistance training, the better. Luckily, not luckily, I guess it depends on how you look at it. We live in a 3-story townhouse now. And so I'm going up and down stairs a lot, but those
Hmm.
stairs are just something to think about. This is a great way to, let's say you're new to push-ups. Okay, you can use the
Yeah.
stairs to do the push-ups. And if the stairs, you can go like to the 5th one up and do some push-ups. You could do different types of push-ups close apart. You can use your
Absolutely.
counter, the wall, so that upper body strength. And that's something. The other thing you can do is, like, if you go up the stairs, you can do some squats before you go up them, then run up them. There was an interesting study showing, for life me, I can't remember where I heard this or where at it. But what they found was that those who actually do, like, let's say we sit for 8 hours, right? Many of us are sitting behind computers and doing our work. They said, like, they had people every 4 hours for 3 times a day. They would run up and down stairs for 20 seconds. And it doesn't have to be stairs. It could be
Yeah.
jumping on a bike. It could be doing
Sure.
jumping jacks, whatever. But getting your heart rate up above, that where you're breathless type of thing, really had extra benefits. So they show benefits of what we call VO2,
Hmm.
which is really a matter of showing your cardiovascular fitness. So there's things there, but when it comes back to the resistance training, I really like to do as much calisthenics as possible. You could do like pull-ups. For me would be, I'm really struggling working on that, but using bands, to get to the point. You can do lat pull downs. We actually have some weights in our home. I feel like kettlebells are really cool. I like to do what we call Turkish get-ups, where you lay flat on the
Yeah.
floor and you putting it above you and you get up and you
With the
keep it above.
kettlebell. Yeah.
Yes. It's challenging. It's good. It's good resistance, but also balance and other
And core
things,
strength. Yeah, you're
and
building a
core
lot of core
strength.
strength. Yeah.
The other thing that I found is really important is the leg strength. And so doing like different types of either lunges or squats are
Absolutely.
helpful. You can use bands for that. You can grab hold of your counter and drop down from that. So yeah, so just lots of things, and just thinking about the functional movement. I had a friend of mine who was training for a 100-mile race. He so funny. His name was Jason Cohen. He actually lost 120 pounds on a plant-based diet and has done 2 or 3 of the Leadville 100. So it's literally running 100 miles in some of the highest places in America. And what he would do, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this because he did share it, so he knows I do these things. Like before he'd go to the bathroom, he would do like 10 squats. He goes, every time you go to the bathroom, just do 10 squats. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
gives a whole new word for squatty potty. Like, you're just like, um, you know, comedy. That's my next gig. But that is, there's all sorts of things. So don't think like you have to have a gym membership or, go somewhere uncomfortable. What do you have? You have your body. Use your body and gravity and use it at whatever works. If you have 5 minutes waiting for your water to boil for your tea, do some squats there, do some leg
That's right.
lifts or stand on one leg. That balance piece is important too.
Balances. Yeah. So, well, yeah, we can talk about maybe the other components of exercise. One thing I want to point out, Angela pointed out, one must lift weights to do strength training to affect bone and muscle strength. Folks can use dumbbells, bands, tubing, body weight. Yeah. Thank you, Angela. I want to point out that a lot of times people think of resistance training, they're like, oh, I have to go to the gym and lift weights. And that's not true at all. Like, as Dr. Lori's pointing out, you can start with push-ups. You can, even if the stair is too hard, you can push yourself off the wall, and really just you're loading some weight against your muscles and your bones. You can do body weight squats, as Dr. Lori's suggesting, and get a very good workout. And as you progress, then you can start to load more weight. But that doesn't, I remember the pandemic and the gyms closed, and my gym was putting out videos and nobody had weights at home. Like, it was so hard to like find weights and buy weights. So one of the trainers, he's like, just fill a backpack with cans and wear it, and you can
Exactly.
squat with that, right? So you can hold anything that has some weight. I always say the most important thing when you're doing resistance training is that you want to be safe. You want to make sure your form is good. And if you don't know, if you're not sure, like, you can certainly watch videos and things like that. The nice thing, if you do go to a gym, is they have machines that kind of control your plane of movement. So it's a lot harder to hurt yourself when you're just setting the weight and you're moving only in one direction for like a shoulder press or something like that. Yeah, and you touched on this too, and so did our guest, I mean our listener, but the 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 bone health, and we know like hip fractures are such a big problem, such a huge cause of morbidity and mortality in older
Right.
adults.
Right.
You're loading weight when you do a squat, you're loading weight against those big bones, the femur and all the bones that have this potential to fracture. So uh, yeah, strength training. If you're not doing it now, think about incorporating a little bit of strength training in your regular workout routine. And I love what you said, like do it for a minute or 5 minutes. It's almost like fitness snacks that you can
Exactly. I was
take.
just going to say exercise snacks, and I've heard that term before, and I love it
So
because
have I.
it's not so overwhelming to someone to just do these little bits and pieces. And yeah, oh, someone else says I always use a backpack full of books. Yeah, I will tell you, we go hiking. I'm paranoid, so I bring like extra shelter things and food.
That's right.
And my husband goes, "Let me carry the backpack for you for a second." He's like, "Dang, this is heavy." I was like, "It's us, my osteoporosis training." So
That's it. Yeah. When my kids were small, I would tell them, like, you sure you don't want to go on my back? Like, and they got to a certain age where they didn't want to do that anymore. And I'm like, oh man, I was getting all that strength training in on these hikes and stuff. But
yeah.
let's see. Angela said I was diagnosed with osteoporosis of a 90-year-old after 3 years of whole food plant diet and lifestyle and lifting weights. I'm age appropriate osteopenic at 65 years young. Wow, awesome. That is so cool, Angela. And that just shows how powerful lifestyle is. To bring it back to Mora and what we do, I just wanted to reflect a little bit because I've been working here for 3 months. And one, I was reflecting with my wife this morning. I said, I do this every other day. I'm like, I'm working full time as a lifestyle medicine doctor. Not many people can say that. Like, that is my sort of passion in life, and I'm doing that. And I always say this when I talk to people about our company. I say we're democratizing lifestyle care because right now there's so many people. One who there's tons, millions and millions of people who would benefit from this, but there are people who want this, who are like looking for this. They go to the doctor's office and they feel like that is just missing as part of their experience, and so they're seeking it out on their own. They're reading on their own. And I don't know how many patients in the last few months I've connected with, they're like, I'm so happy that I get to do this with you, that I found you. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here talking to you. Like, thank you. You're welcome. But for anyone out there, like, that's why, share this stream, share our website. It's mora.com, mora.com. You want to talk about the name a little bit, Lori?
Yeah. So Mora came from, well, we originally started as Blueberry, and then there was a trademark issue. I was like, could we be so lucky to have Blueberry? Oh well, it's all good. But Mora is Spanish and it's shorter, so it's easier to remember. I believe for berry, and
that's right.
And I think it's associated with different types of berries. You'll see more in a different variety. So it's which is lovely. So, and the little logo that you see there was meant to be the top of the blueberry, so that's kind of where it all kind of came out of.
I didn't
So
know that.
and Mora.com was available, and so that's how Mora came about. But it really is, I love that you say that, democratizing, because we're bringing doctors who wanted to practice this and patients who are seeking alternatives to here's another prescription or another intervention type of philosophy. And it's a real joy to be a part of a place that we can create that opportunity and utilize insurance. It's not just another cash pay.
That's right.
I have to pay a lot of money to go see someone who's going to help me get healthier. It doesn't make any sense that you can't utilize your insurance, which is that you're paying for, your employer's paying for. It's
I had a
crazy.
patient, and so we run circles. We talked about it a lot. Yeah, but circles are 10-week groups, 10-week groups that are really disease reversal groups. So people join and they're connected with other people in their state and even other states who are all on this journey of healing. And I had a patient who told me, she told the whole group, she said, I haven't been on Medicare for years, and I paid into the system for years, and I never use my health care. I never need it because she's relatively healthy. And she said, when I saw this, I was like, I'm getting my money's worth. I'm gonna go to join this. Because when I met with her, I was like, you gotta know this stuff a little bit. And she's like, no, I could do better. I was like, okay, good point. And it's not just about diet. And then she also said, and this is what I want my healthcare dollars to be paying for. And so she was so excited about it. I was like, I had her share that with the whole group because it was
That's
true.
awesome. I love that she's like, this is what I want my healthcare dollars to be used for. And she's claiming it that this is her healthcare dollars and they should be moved towards her getting healthier, not
That's
just,
right.
responding to when reacting to when she's sick. It makes complete sense. So that's one.
That's right.
But yes, if you guys have any questions, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, please feel free to ask any questions you have. We'll do our best to answer. And if we're not, we will say stay tuned and we'll be back next week.
That's right.
Answer. I will say my plant-based patients have made me a smarter doctor because I go hunting and searching for answers quite regularly. So
That's right.
we have some amazing team members as well, guys, that we're running our group circles that we like to speak about. And I'm just so excited to have such an amazing team to work with. And again, if you go to mora.com, you can see all the information that we have. And then we have these for those who are not in our states yet. We're happy to try and answer some questions for you. It's not quote unquote medical advice, but something maybe you can take back to your doctor. And we're happy to help as much as we can. But really sharing this with as many people as you know is so helpful for us. We're really trying to get the word out because there's millions and millions of people that we should be sitting in front of. And as we know, it's hard in this day's era with so many messages and different things, but that would be amazing. Thank you, Angela, for participating.
We appreciate it. Cora tells us Mora is mulberry.
There you go. Someone else said blackberry. So I'm like, berry is the common thread.
And berries are, I mean, you use this word. I don't know if I love this word superfood, but if there is a superfood, it's berries, right? Every other week a study comes out. Eat a half a cup of blueberries and your memory will improve. Not just like you'll prevent dementia, but like they'll do it for a month and like their actual testing on memory tests gets better. It's like that effective in changing our health. So when I heard that, and I know that, I figure out how I can dump berries and more berries in my oatmeal, more berries in my after dinner dessert.
And at least blueberry, they're just so delicious. It's like candy to me. I've been eating blueberries every single day for probably 15 plus years. And so it's never been a problem for me. It's been oatmeal and blueberries, but now it's in the super smoothie. Well, speaking of, let's talk about like, what do you consume on a daily basis?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Let's
some examples of what the doctors are doing.
I don't eat breakfast. And there's some controversy to that. Every so often you'll hear a study like, oh, people live longer if they eat breakfast. And at the end of the day, I like to practice some degree of time restricted feeding, right? People call it intermittent fasting, but really what you're doing is you're restricting your feeding to a certain point of the day. That for me has been one of the ways that has been effective for me to lose a fair amount of weight. I've lost about 75 pounds in the last 6 years, and most of that weight in the first couple of years, and then I've been able to maintain it. And so one of the ways you restrict calories is just by having less hours in the day you eat. So I usually don't eat breakfast, but I do have in the morning, I have this, and I'll tell you what's in it. And most people will say, well, that sounds gross, but it's green tea, matcha green tea. Just a start, but I don't do like a tea, I don't mean to make it in hot water. I literally put this in my water bottle. Okay. So I put it in my water bottle, I put some matcha, and then over time, I'm a big fan of just habit stacking, like getting everything in at once. And so what do I put in here? I put turmeric, black pepper, amla. I put some apple cider vinegar. I put creatine, which, creatine is, people think about it and I do lift weights, but actually there's evidence that in vegans in particular, people who don't eat meat, animal products. Creatine may be helpful for mental focus. We're not deficient. You don't need it. There's no such thing as a creatine deficiency, but there may be some like nootropic benefit to taking creatine. I don't know if that's true, but once I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it does help with my focus.
I've read the same thing for sure. And creatine can help with muscle mass and production there. So
That's right.
it's not harmful.
It's not harmful, right? So that, and it doesn't taste like anything. So that's my and I put some ground ginger in there too, which is anti-inflammatory. So it's a very anti-inflammatory one, and now I really love it. Actually, it kind of tastes like kombucha because it's got the vinegar and the amla, but there's no sugar in it.
No.
So I call it the health, and a lot of those components, if you can't tell, are like they come out of like my Dr. Michael Greger's, and I'm like, oh yeah, well he recommends all these things, but I don't have the time and space to like make capsules, or some people do that, or cook with all that. Like, I don't know, so I'm like, I'm just gonna mix it all in one drink, whatever it tastes like. And then lo and behold, after doing that for a few weeks or a few months, you're like, I actually kind of like this now. And so,
yep, I have actually buy just little turmeric capsules pre-made, and all it is in it is turmeric and black pepper.
That's right.
It's about the equivalent of a teaspoon of turmeric and a dash of black pepper daily.
That's it.
I've been doing that for a really long time. And my smoothies, which I eat when I'm at home daily.
So you start the morning with a smoothie?
Yeah, I'm hungry. Like as soon as I get up, I'm
okay.
Like, I'd rather not eat.
I'm the only one in my house who can do this. Like everyone else is like, how are you not eating? It's like 11 o'clock.
I've been a breakfast eater since probably before birth, but it was at night I'm much easier to skip dinner because I'm just like I get so busy in the evenings. But I like to make like little little caps. You put like your little storage bowls with a lid on it that have a few different things in it. I've done amla powder, ground flaxseed. I've also done, sometimes I'll put like a scoop of, what is it called? Garden of Life's like raw milk protein replacement things. If I'm going to be super active and not be able to eat lunch or something like in the day, that I like the chocolate flavor. And
so in that you'll mix some of those other things.
I'll mix all the powders, right? And I'll put the beetroot powder, the ground flax. I've been known to put psyllium husk in there just for extra resistant starch or fibers that, like a, what else have I put in there in the past? Amla.
Can you just talk about amla a little bit?
Yeah.
I think maybe some people don't know what that is.
So amla is an amazing antioxidant, right? So it comes from the Indian gooseberry, and it doesn't take much. Oh, it's a sour powder. That's like when you were describing your stuff, I was like, wow,
it's very impressed.
Sour. And then you're mixing that with vinegar and whoo. But yeah, so it's really
acquired taste.
Yeah, when they say when you have sometimes people get salivary gland stones, and they'll have you suck on those like lemon or lemon drops. That would be the equivalent. Like it would make you start salivating.
Amla, yeah.
The amla.
If you just had straight amla, yeah.
Yeah, but it's what's good about it. It's really good for cholesterol lowering. It's good for blood sugars, and then you have also the antioxidant effect. So it's really important to include as many antioxidant-rich foods as you can, and it's a great way to do it with a very small amount. But I'll put all that in my super green smoothie. So literally the Vitamix is stacked. So my husband and I will split it. So I mean, I am pounding sometimes 10 ounces or more. Excuse me. The big box, a bag.
Oh yeah, greens.
Super greens, yeah. And I'm like pounding that sucker in there. And then I add. People think I'm crazy. I'll do like a broccoli slaw and a cabbage slaw on top of that.
In the smoothie.
In the smoothie.
Oh wow.
Sometimes I'll get cauliflower rice because it's just because when it's already broken up, it's easier to like compound deeper. So that's at least half or 3/4. Okay, then I add in a banana. I put in a cup of blueberries, frozen wild blueberries, some cherries, pineapple, frozen pineapple, and then I add in the soy milk for the liquid and all those powders. And I blend that up. It is like full, man. And I pour it 2 cups, big old 32-ounce mason jars. Stick a straw in there, That is, it
That's
tastes
super filling too. And how much I
well.
mean, it's probably got a
eh,
ton of protein because it's got
Oh,
all those
it's like
veggies and
40
protein
plus,
powder.
probably 40 plus by the time we
Wow.
even split it. It's a lot. And honestly, it'll be like, I don't know, 6:37 when I start drinking that. I'll finish it in an hour or
Is there
so.
any fruit in it?
Yeah, the fruits,
Oh,
the
oh, the
pineapple, the
blueberries. Yeah,
banana, the
the
blueberries,
blueberries. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
cherries.
yeah.
Well, it's banana, pineapple, blueberry, and cherries, sweet cherries, frozen to
Yeah.
top it off, and then this unsweetened soy milk.
Oh,
But
got it.
that piece alone, I mean, it'll hit 1 o'clock, 1:30. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I better eat lunch. It is very filling. Like,
Ah, I hear that. I wonder, I've never been hungry in the morning. Seriously, since I was a
mm,
kid. I wonder if this is like part of our chronotrope or like circadian rhythm or something. Or some
mhm.
people just get hungrier at certain times of the day. I don't know. But okay, and then yeah, for me, actually my lunch is my breakfast because I'm breaking, and it's oatmeal usually, because I love oatmeal, and it's also an opportunity to like add more stuff in. that I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what else can I add that I'm gonna? Have you heard
Cinnamon
of? I add
is good to
cinnamon
add.
to my oatmeal. Have
Mhm.
you heard of lupin beans?
Yep, I've had lupin beans.
Right. So
Hmm.
there's this company that makes ground lupin beans. So lupin beans they're bean, but they're well, the ground ones, they kind of cook up like, well, you can cook them into oatmeal. They cook up kind of like couscous, but they're a bean. But the thing about lupin beans, or lupini beans, they're sometimes called, is they're very high in protein and they're very high in fiber. In fact, like that's all they really are. They're basically just a collection of fiber and protein. And those are the things like, especially if you work out regularly, you're trying to get more protein and get it from whole food sources can sometimes be harder, especially if you're on a whole food plant-based diet. So when I found lupin beans, so I put a serving of lupin beans in my oats with steel cut oats every day. I put beetroot powder. Um, so it has this like kind of, and then I put peanut powder in it as well, which is basically the defatted peanut butter. So I know
PB2 is a
but
good brand.
yeah,
PB2.
PB2 or and so all of that, and then soy milk, and then I mix it with soy milk, and then I put frozen fruit, usually frozen
Mm.
blueberries, frozen cherries. I love frozen. When you said frozen cherries, my eyes lit up because they
It's
are
like
my
ice cream.
favorite. I could eat frozen cherries forever. They're like little balls of sorbet, is what I say.
Oh, it is. I mean, I have not been able ever to pour this fruit on top of the smoothie without taking a chunk of frozen pineapple, one of the cherries, and one of the blue, and just like, yep, it's good today. It's good to go. Let's keep going.
Let's see. So Peggy says my morning smoothie bowls are similar to yours, Dr. Lori. So much stuff. The list is long.
Yes, I love
That's
it.
right.
I love it.
And then Always Learning said, Dr. Rock's drink sounds a lot like the concoction I drink in the afternoon. I usually use low sodium vegetable juice and a liberal shot of hot sauce to hide oh, it's kind of like a Bloody Mary that you're making, like a healthy Bloody Mary with the hot sauce and the vegetable juice. That's cool. Kimberly's not, oh, she's like me. She's not a breakfast person. That's right. Yeah. And that's okay. I
No.
mean, eventually you're going to have breakfast. That's what I always say.
Well,
So
it is. It's you're breaking the fast. I mean,
you're
it
breaking the
is
fast.
your
Yeah.
breakfast. And if you think
Uh,
about it from a standpoint of social, we always need people that are early risers, eat. Then there's those who, the people that are kind of in the middle, and then the late birds. Like we in society, we probably needed someone always around and available to keep the community safe and looking out for
that's right.
dinosaurs.
That's right. You probably needed, yeah, somebody who wasn't like at the breakfast buffet, who was
Exactly.
on watch. Yeah, I hear
It's hard
you.
to say, and that might be exactly what's going on here. But oh my gosh, that's funny. Uh,
And then because I do eat 3 meals actually, so I still get 3 meals in that. So usually in the
yeah.
afternoon, I'll have my second meal, which is kind of my lunch. And my lunch is something I prep on the weekend, and it's usually a bunch of veggies and greens and like the kind of hard, the super firm tofu that I just kind
Mm,
of, and then that's the canvas, and then sometimes I do Indian spices. This week I have that recipe, but I basically used like I did like a peanut sauce with it.
mm.
So it's kind, I did a little bit of soy and sriracha and peanut butter and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then dinners with the family, and that'll be like one person, either myself or my wife, or sometimes I'm lucky. My in-laws live in the East Bay, and they bring South Indian vegetarian food to our house. They're bringing it tonight. They bring it twice a
Oh,
week. I'm like spoiled. I'm so
what?
spoiled. I know it's really,
Ah,
and I don't. I mean, anyway, I don't. I'm
I'm
so
jealous.
grateful for them.
Yes.
So that's my dinner usually, but either what I've made, my wife has made, or we take turns, and then once a week we order out. Usually on Friday or Sunday we'll get something. Although I don't really. It's so interesting. The more I eat this way, like I don't like getting the food from the restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
Like, don't get any for me is half the time what I'm saying. I'll make something, or I'll have my meal prep or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of soups. I love soups, but also like you said, you kind of have your vegetables and then your tofu and then the different sauces. I really like that. Like last night though, but traveling though, of course, we're eating more out a little more often. We went to a Thai restaurant and they had this, all it was vegetables. It was bell peppers and onions and mushrooms and then they had the tofu that had been steamed but they
That's
had like
right.
coriander sauce, which was
Mm.
really, I love coriander anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
but
yeah.
I've never had coriander sauce. I'm like, how can I replicate this? So I take note of sauces
That's right.
and like, how can I replicate this at home? It's all in the sauces.
It's a joke I heard several years ago. What's a vegan's best friend is a good sauce.
That is not a joke. That is the
Yeah,
truth.
no, it's the truth. That's
You can
right.
transform the same meal into anything you want. It's the same components, just change the sauce. It really is.
Yeah. I was telling that to my circle. I had a new circle starting yesterday, and I told them that joke because one of the first handouts we give, I think, is like 30 or 40 dressings and sauces that are
Mhm.
all oil-free, whole food. And because I think that also the assumption or what happens is a lot of sauces, store-bought sauces, they have a lot of oil and added sugar. So you go
Right.
to the store and you get teriyaki sauce, it's basically just sugar. You go get any dressing, it's basically just oil. So
Right.
learning how to make those at home, yeah,
Yep. It's really important. And if there's something that you really want to replicate, is it an enchilada sauce or anything that you've liked in the past,
that's right.
a savory, I don't know, soup, whatever. Just think about how you can take those same taste flavor profiles and add in something healthier. It really can be done. And if it's not like tofu, the soy curls, I tell you, are been.
Oh, my
I
favorite.
love soy curls.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
so
So
good.
that'll be my meal prep, either the tofu or soy curls.
Yes, yes.
Talk
And
about
soy.
soy curls. I feel like
Oh,
not everyone knows what these are, and they need
oh.
to.
First of all, you can order them from Butler Foods. That's the one
That's
you
right.
get. Only ingredient. It's a one ingredient. Soybeans. And so
Soybean.
basically they cook them slightly, right? And then they stretch them, then they dehydrate them. Okay, that's the
Hmm.
key. And so there's no oil, there's no added
That's
anything.
right.
And then all you do is you put however you get these bags. I order them by the case.
I know.
And
Trust
then
me, I know.
basically
I do this too.
so, and then I rehydrate them. And then what you can do is if you just rehydrate them for 10 minutes in warm water, you can do a few different things. You can cook them immediately, like in stir fries or whatever, or you can, when you rehydrate them, you can add some flavoring at that point so they
Hmm.
absorb that back in, and then you drain it, press it, and then I can air fry it. Sometimes I'll air fry
Hmm.
it at that
Hmm.
point. The other thing I've known to do is put that rehydrated piece back in the fridge, and I'll use it in different recipes throughout the week. So it's already rehydrated and
Yeah.
ready to go. Um, I've made, I've done barbecue sauces,
Hmm.
teriyaki,
Hmm.
soybean it. I put them in enchiladas.
Hmm.
I put them in
Hmm.
tacos. I put them in
Hmm. I've made a
soups, chilies,
meatloaf.
meatloaf,
Yeah,
100%.
you can make meatballs. You just need
Meat.
a binder, but yeah, you can
It's
use
it's
flax.
not it's not hard at all. And the nice thing is if you like it if you want more of a ground beefy type of texture, just take the crumbles before
Crumble.
you rehydrate them and crumble them up and then
Yeah.
rehydrate them.
And it gets the like taco meat. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
I do
just like
that.
taco meat.
In my house, we used to, before I went plant-based, we used to always, I used to buy ground turkey because I thought that was healthy, and maybe I don't know. But when I switched, I was like, I still like tacos. And when I discovered soy curls and how to make them, and you just, yeah, you crumble them up. And you know what I add to my I don't know if you do this, but I add a little bit of cocoa powder.
Oh.
Because it adds just a little bit of bitterness, but also the color. The color, when you're looking at it, then it looks like it's like crazy because
it is insane. I mean, it really is insane.
So it has the texture, and then it on its own doesn't have much flavor. Just like you're saying, it needs a good sauce. It needs good seasonings. And you can make jerky with it. Like, I don't know if you've ever done that in the air fryer. It comes out really good.
I've done all sorts of things. And, you know, someone else was saying, oh, egg whites. Was it comparing? I think I did. I compared soy curls and egg whites as far as like protein, whatever. It's actually but soy curls are better. It's got lower fat, zero cholesterol, more protein, and less calories.
And unlike any animal source of protein, it has a bunch of fiber.
Exactly.
You're never going to get fiber. Anytime someone tries to one up, I'm like, yeah, but does it have fiber? The most healthiest thing you can consume that feeds your gut bacteria, which actually contribute to much of our health. Like, it doesn't?
You're fiber deficient if you're not eating plants.
What is you? You got some,
Carl.
You guys are making me hungry. Yeah. My favorite food, Peggy says, you guys are making me hungry. Carl says, my favorite food I make these days is red lentil dal. Dal is lentils, and with short grain brown rice. I had a ring of broccoli steamed with garlic and mustard powder around the plate. Looks like a restaurant did it. That's cool.
Send it on over, Carl. I'll send you my address.
Carl, you may be doing this. You may be adding the mustard powder just for flavor. You may already know that if you cut broccoli, you have to wait. I think it's 30 minutes or an hour
15,
because there's an
15.
It's 15 minutes. There's an enzyme that basically deactivates the sulforaphane. The sulforaphane is the phytonutrient that has this anti-cancer property. And that's not why you're eating the broccoli, but that's a big benefit of eating the broccoli. So, but if you add mustard powder, it deactivates that enzyme. So you can go ahead and cut your broccoli, cook with it, and add some mustard powder, and you don't have to wait the 15 minutes. And Carl also says soy curls are amazing in 21 bean soup. Ooh. Is that 21 different types of beans, Carl?
That's a lot of beans.
That's a lot of beans, Carl.
That is a healthy microbiome.
Peggy says soy curls are the best. Carl says I do the mustard powder for the health benefits. Plus, it tastes really good.
There you go.
Okay. Dr. Laura, you have any final things you want to say to our audience today?
Other than, just reflecting on my last week, because I've been traveling because of a family issue, but, as you can still make healthy choices. So even when you're challenged in settings and out of your normal elements, because I'm a creature of habit. And so, I make the oatmeal that I'm used to eat long before the smoothies, or if I can do the smoothie, I do that as well. But then, when you go to restaurants, just be creative and look at the different menu options. You can do a la carte. You can say, can you hold this? Can you steam it instead of using oil? Lots of different things you can do. Right. And then sometimes, if you're driving, like I drove 1,100 miles to get here by myself and my dog, and there was nothing, and I'm like, I got to eat something. I pull into Taco Bell. I say, can I have a black bean and rice burrito, nothing else? And they're like, you don't want the nacho cheese? I'm like, no. Can you just make me a black bean and rice burrito? I'd do 2 of them. They're like, okay. And then I'm set. And then
they can do it.
And they do it. They do it every time.
One of the best restaurants, actually. They make bowls, and they actually not everything vegan obviously is healthy, but the fact that they have said, options. Oh yeah, we have all these vegan options, and you can do a whole not everything's going to be 100%, but
it's close enough to get me where I don't feel bad about getting, and it gets me on the road and I can eat.
That's right. That's right.
And but it's okay to make a few alterations and just do the best you can. So I just want to encourage people, never give up and I can't do it and feel like you failed. That's just life.
And I want to point out, this is what we do at Mora. When patients come through our circles, we talk about the real life strategies about how to make sustainable lifestyle changes, because it's great. So many people, I think, know what to do, or maybe not, because they're being told do this, and then they're being told do this, and they're completely different, and their doctors a lot of times not telling them anything.
Right.
And so we're physicians and physician assistants and trained clinicians in lifestyle medicine. We're not only telling you like this is the best way based on the research, the science, how to live, how to eat, and how do you do it? Like, how do you actually implement this when you have to go to a dinner party and travel? And so I think that's the thing that, you know, matters the most, actually, because if you're not doing it, if it's not sustainable, you're not going to see the results in your life. So
Right.
I wanted to point that out, because as you were saying it, I was like, oh yeah, this is what we help people do on a regular basis. So by all means, spread the word. If you yourself are wanting to improve your lifestyle for any reason, dealing with chronic disease, like Dr. Marvis says, we're in several states now and we're slowly growing, and we'd love to take care of you. We'd love to help you on your health journey.
Yes. And please share the words. You know, it's Mora.com. You've seen it this whole time scrolling across the bottom. And again, share it with those who you know, share it with your groups on Facebook, Instagram, email, wherever it is, and just help us spread the word, guys. We really appreciate because in the end, it's communities that are going to make the change the world. And we're just trying to build this community to be strong and healthy and, you know, help each other along the way. So we appreciate everyone. Oh, I do want, you should read Carl's last.
Carl said they sell packages of dried beans, like, because they sell 21 beans. And he's Carl, I'm 5 years in. I do mostly Esselstyn's diet. And I've reversed and that's Caldwell Esselstyn, he's referring to at the Cleveland Clinic, plant-based cardiologist.
I've reversed 90.
That's right. And his whole family is involved in sharing and spreading the love of this way of living. I've reversed my heart disease, eliminated my angina post-heart attack. Amazing, Carl. Amazing. And it's changed. I'm sure it's changed your life, Carl. And that's the thing we talk about a lot, is the health and the numbers. But the truth is, like, once you change your health, you open up a whole new possibility in your life. So let us help you do that here at Mora. Way to go, Carl. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect example. Awesome. Perfect example of what this lifestyle can do for you.
Right.
And and we're here to help. So please share the word, and thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
We'll be here next week.
Thank you all for listening and watching. Bye-bye.